Hey, what's up guys, Nifty Nuggets, back again in the Minecraft Survival Let's Play, Episode 7. Since last episode, we found a spawner deep underground, and today we're turning it into a fully working skeleton farm that's going to give us unlimited bones, arrows, and easy XP. I'm going to show you step by step how to build it, how it works, and how to make it efficient, so you can build the exact farm in your world too. Let's get started. Deep underground in Minecraft, there are rare blocks that can completely change your survival world. Mob spawners, and in today's episode, we found one. One of the best, a skeleton spawner. So I'm going to show you step by step how to turn it into a fully working mob farm for unlimited bones, arrows, bows, and easy XP. And I'll explain everything clearly, so even if you've never built one before, you can follow along. Let's do this. So, what is a mob spawner? A spawner is a special block that naturally generates mobs, over and over again, as long as three things are true. You are close enough to activate it, the area around is dark, and there is enough space for mobs to spawn. Inside the block, you'll see a tiny spinning mob, and that tells you what type of spawner it is. In our case, the spinning mob is a skeleton, which means this block will only spawn skeletons, turning this into a skeleton farm, once we control it. There are also other types of mob spawners. We have the skeleton here, we also have zombie, we have spider, and you also have cave spider. Now there is also more in the Nether, we'll get to those in the future, and there's also silverfish for the stronghold. But these ones specifically are, in my opinion, the most useful ones to use, as you can get a lot of good loot from all these mobs. Alrighty, for today's episode, this is what you're going to need. I'd make sure you bring 2 water buckets so we could build an infinite water source. Basically going to be the water system to how we control the mobs. I'm going to be using a auto collecting system. You guys don't have to necessarily build this if you don't want to, but if you want to build it the way I do in the video, then you're going to need a hopper and 2 chests. I'd also recommend bringing materials for you guys to build many picks. Unless you have access to diamonds, you probably won't need many diamond picks, maybe not even one. It's not that big of a build. You don't have to mine out too much, but you're going to need a decent amount of cobblestone or at least iron or copper. And make sure you bring food too. Lots of coal, not necessarily lots, but make sure you bring lots of torches, because you're going to want to light the place up until the mobs, basically until the farm's done. That way the mobs aren't spawning and attacking you, making it hard for you to build. Before building anything, we need to stop mobs from spawning so we can work safely. So we're going to come in here and we're going to quickly place a torch, and then we're going to deal with any mobs that are in here. Otherwise, they're going to kill you. And now we're going to quickly place 4 torches around all 4 sides, and we're going to remove the one on the top. This is because we're going to actually place solid blocks on top. This way mobs can't actually spawn on here. Now we want to make sure that this is a 9x9 room, so all you want to do that is make sure that there's 4 blocks coming out from each side of the spawner. You guys also want to make sure that this is going to be 3 blocks above the spawner. Alrighty, just to make sure you have everything right, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks from the spawner coming on every single side. So this should be 9 blocks by 9 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we're going to go 3 blocks high. So in total, there should be 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. And then right now, if there's any caves around your mob spawner, I highly recommend you go and light them up. Because if there's mob spawning in your caves around your mob spawner, that means there's going to be less mob spawning in the actual spawner. Now we're going to quickly fill in the gaps around the mob spawner, because we don't want the skeletons to actually be able to get out. We're going to leave the little doorway here, this way we know which way we came in. We're also going to remove all the loot from the chest and also destroy the chest. You guys want to make sure that there's nothing basically around the mob spawner except for your torches and basically what I have right now. Alright, so now that we have our 9 by 9 room, 4 blocks high, we're going to bring this 3 blocks below the spawner. So if you guys want, you can come over beside the spawner and you go 1, 2, and 3 blocks. And then we're just going to make sure we connect it all. Alrighty guys, so now we've made this 3 blocks deeper. Now it's time to build the water system to move mobs automatically. First we'll have to build an auto, I guess not an auto, but we have to build an infinite water source. If you guys don't know how to build an infinite water source, it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is build a 2 by 2 block and dig it out like this. Now that you have that, you want to place water in here, but I actually forgot to grab my bucket of water, so let me go grab my buckets of water real quick and I'll be right back. Okay guys, now I got some water. We're just going to place our water in each one of the corners. Doesn't matter, you could do these 2 corners or these 2 corners. Any 2 corners, make sure that the opposite corner that you're doing, and it'll make an infinite source. You could take buckets out of here all day long. Now, we're going to place a bucket in each one of these corners to actually make like a water funnel. Basically, leads to 1 block in the middle. And it should look like this. We don't need these 3 blocks underneath, so we're going to remove them. And you guys should have something that looks like this, basically. Now that you guys have done that, you guys can remove your water source. I highly recommend picking up both buckets again. This way you guys have lots of water in case you need it again. And then we're just going to seal this back up. This way the mobs aren't going to go in there, not into our farm. I'm also going to put a torch in there, this way mobs can't actually spawn in there. There we go. So now your room should be looking something like this. Be 9 blocks by 9 blocks, and then a total, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks of height, and then you should have a block of water, or a bucket of water in each corner, and that should push it all into the middle, right underneath the spawner basically. Alright, so from the center block, we're going to dig straight down 10 blocks. Now this isn't the safest thing to do, so I highly recommend you don't bring your best gear with you when you do this, just in case something bad happens. But here we go. So this is already 1 block down, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now that we're 10 blocks down, we're going to want to build like a little, I guess you could say 5 by 5 room we'll start with. Oh, we got a cave right there. Just gonna throw a torch down temporarily. So this is where the mobs are gonna spawn, or fall down to. Oh, we got a skeleton. Let's get rid of the mobs down here quickly. This way they're not an issue. Now we're just gonna mine this room out real quick. So now we have 5 blocks by 5 blocks. Right now it's too deep, so we're temporarily just gonna place some random blocks here. This way when the mobs fall, they can't actually get out. Now we could design this to look better or any way that you guys want. or I want. This way it'll actually work for us. And we're just gonna move these temporarily because we're actually gonna build this up to here. Alright, so now that we built our 5x5 room, you guys should have something like this. 3 blocks deep. This is technically 11 blocks deep, where this is on the 10th block where the mobs fall. And this will basically be where we hit our skeletons and kill them. Now we're going to build our collection chamber that actually, not the chamber, but the collection machine that will actually collect all of our loot for us. This way it's not just a bunch of bows or whatever falling on the piece of Alrighty, so we want the hopper to be on the block that they actually fall on. This way, when they actually die, all the objects will fall on here and then go right into the chest. Now, you guys gotta somehow find your way back up there. It shouldn't be too tricky, as long as you kind of stay in a square basically. So I'm gonna build like a little tunnel all the way back up, just turning every time I come up one, like this, building a spiral staircase. Now we hit water, we're just going to figure out where we are. So we're going to come over here. We're just going to build a little tunnel. Now you guys don't necessarily have to do this, but this is basically what I do to find how I even got in and work my way so I can get back out. And this isn't going to be part of the tutorial, but I'm basically telling you guys how I did it, that way you guys can do it yourselves. So now we connected our tunnel to the cave that actually connects with how we got in. But this part here is actually got to come down more. We want it to be just below this water. So it's going to be these 2 blocks here. As you guys can see, that's where our little hole is. We're just going to fill that back up. And we're going to have to actually dig out a little bit this way so we can actually get around and down. Alright, now we're just going to finish this stairway off here. So now we have a way down into where the killing chamber will be. Just like that. Alrighty, so now that you guys have done that, you're gonna want to find, oh, it's up here. You're gonna want to find where the entrance is to your spawner, because you're gonna actually want to destroy the torches. I would recommend you destroy the torches that are going to be the furthest away from you, because once it's completely dark in here, the mobs are going to start spawning like crazy. I highly recommend you make sure that all the blocks are filled in around your room. This way it's a lot easier to do now than it is to do when there's no lights. So now we're just going to get ready to jump and run into our little tunnel here. Because as you've seen, the mobs are going to start spawning right away. Now it's a bit bright because of the tunnel here. If we seal it up quickly, alrighty guys, so as you guys see there, the mobs are actually spawning and they're falling onto the water platform and they're falling into the funnel and going down our tunnel. Now at the bottom of the tunnel, as you'll see, the skeletons are actually starting to pile up. Now when we hit them, they're not going to die the easiest right now. As of right now in our survival let's play world, I don't have all the materials to make a more efficient spawner. So I recommend just using a sword. I know it's going to be a little costly. Maybe just use like a stone sword. But hey, it works, and this is definitely a starter method on how to build a skeleton farm. If you want to see a more updated version, I'm going to be building one soon that involves soul sand and water tunnels. So it's going to basically bring the mobs all the way up and then back down. And I'll actually make them so we can basically just 1 or 2, at most 3 hit them. Where this one, it takes quite a bit. But as you guys see, most of the loot is actually going into the chest. And we're going to be getting lots of bones, arrows, and bows. Bows are going to be used for basically killing things. We could also use them for making dispensers. So even if they're fully broken, they're still good because we can build a fully brand new dispenser with them. Arrows are going to be good for shooting things. Our bones can be used for making lots of bone meal to make things grow really fast, basically instant. And they're going to be also used for taming dogs. That's how you actually get dogs to follow you. You can also use bone meal to make white dye. So if you want to get white sheep, I mean that's the most common sheep, but if say white is what you wanted to dye your sheep back to, you definitely could. Or if you wanted to make like white concrete or white materials, you definitely could. And just like that, our skeleton farm is complete. Unlimited bones, unlimited arrows, and most importantly, unlimited XP. Because next episode, we step into enchanting. And once that begins, everything changes. I'm Nifty Nuggets, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.